Welcome back to Good Day. We're excited to talk with Mac McEwen this morning. He's a U.S. Army reservist and U.S. Marine Corps veteran. And first of all, we just really appreciate all that you've done and want to thank you for your service to our country.
Well, it's my honor. I'm glad that I was able to serve and wish I still could.
Well, now, since that time, starting on September 11, 2011, you have begun this journey walking to every state capital. So tell us a little bit of why you decided to do this and your journey so far.
Well, when 9/11 happened more than a decade ago, I noticed that when our veterans came home from combat, whether they were wounded or paid the ultimate price or even came home in one piece, they were soon forgotten about. And that just didn't sit very well with me. So I wanted to do something to bring awareness back to the veterans, for those who served as far back as the Civil War to today's current conflict. So I realized that every state produces a veteran. So what better way to bring a light back to them than to walk to the capital of all 50 states.
Wow.
So on September 11th of 2011, I left my home in Stafford, Virginia, and I started walking. I walked all the way north to Ground Zero in New York. I then turned south and walked to Florida, and now I've walked here to date. I've walked 1,586 miles.
Wow. Now, when you walked to New York that first time, I mean, it was right after the terrorist attacks, so what was that like?
It was humbling. It was actually the reason I went to New York to begin with was because I wanted to bring something with me that would symbolize the passing of every veteran since the Civil War. And I came in contact with a woman named Emily Toro on Facebook, who's from New York. She lost her son, Isaac Cortez, in 2009 in Iraq. And when she met me at the George Washington Bridge, and we walked to Ground Zero together, and when I got there, she put her son's dog tags around my neck. And he symbolizes the passing of every veteran. When my walk ends in Arlington Cemetery in about 6 years, I'll give her back his dog tags.
Oh my goodness,
So,
what a symbol.
yeah.
And what a meaningful thing to many different families in all of America that you're able to do this.
Yes, ma'am.
So how does it work? Do you actually, you've gone to 6 capitals
Yes,
through
ma'am.
9 states. So do you start from your hometown and walk wherever it is, or where do you start and end when you have
Well,
the
it took a
journey?
year and a half to plan this whole thing. It's a very large logistical undertaking. And fortunately, I have a volunteer on board. Her name is Candace from Florida, and she's my event coordinator. She'll plan 30 days ahead of me, and she'll call the necessary places where I'm going to stop. I do the actual turn-by-turn ground route where I'll be. And I know the overall route to the entire country, but every 30 days I do the turn-by-turn. Fortunately for me, 80% of the time, fire departments open their doors to me, and I can spend the night there. I do pull a cart behind me. It weighs about 60 pounds. It has all my gear in it, and I can sleep outside if I have to. But fortunately, I haven't had to yet.
Well, good. I am
Yes.
so glad to hear that. And we're going to be back in just a little bit talking more with Mac McEwen about his journey. And if you guys would like more information, you do have a website.
Yes, ma'am. It's www.operationwalkamerica.us.
Okay. We'll be back in just a little bit. Chris? Back with Mac McEwen, and he has walked 6 capitals through 9 states, and he's been taking this journey to walk to every state capital to bring awareness to wounded veterans and many other veterans issues. And so we're just thrilled to be able to talk with you this morning. But I got to ask you, you know, Hawaii and Alaska,
Yes,
how are you
ma'am.
planning to walk there?
I'm often asked that by many people. Fortunately, one of my sponsors on board is a travel agency. And it'll take about a year to walk to California. By the time I get there, they're going to raise the funds for a round-trip cruise. And as the
Okay.
ship sails through the water, I'll walk around the deck of the ship.
That sounds like a good plan. And so that explains it if you guys were kind of wondering how he's going to walk to those capitals. But I'm sure you're looking forward to that. It'll be a good time to be able to reach a different group of people.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that would be really
Yes.
unique. So also we want to know what you plan on doing once you're done. You said you think this will take you about 6 years more.
Correct. Disney World.
Disney World. There you go.
A good break.
I think so. And you would much deserve it. Now, have you gone through lots of pairs of shoes?
I'm on my 4th pair of boots now. I walk in full combat gear. As I said, I pull a cart behind me, and I'm on my 4th set of boots.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, we wanted to know about some of the most meaningful moments that you've had on your journey.
Well, I've been blessed by many things on this walk, but the one that's closest to my heart, there's a movie called Taking Chance, and it stars Kevin Bacon as the main actor. It's a true story. It's based on a Lieutenant Colonel Michael Strobel. Now, there are officers in place in every branch of the service that when a veteran is killed in combat, they have to get that body home. Well, that's what Lieutenant Colonel Strobel did. And he was looking down the list of names and came across a Lance Corporal Chance Phelps and discovered that Lance Corporal Phelps was from the same hometown he was from.
Wow.
So he chose to escort the body home. And the movie is very heart-wrenching. It shows him cleaning the body, the personal effects, the whole 9 yards. Well, last January 15th of last year, I was walking through Fredericksburg, Virginia, and a truck pulls over. A gentleman steps out. He's in civilian clothing, introduces himself as a U.S. Marine, and tells me his best friend was killed right next to him in combat. And he hands me a coin with a face on it and tells me his friend's name, but there's so much traffic going by, I didn't hear the name. He asked me if I would carry the coin with me through my entire journey. I said, absolutely, it would be my honor. So I stuck it in my wallet and we parted our ways. On Memorial Day of last year, it's my day off, I'm scanning through the television and came across the movie Taking Chance for the first time. And for the first time I look at the coin and it's Chance Phelps.
Wow.
The young man escorted home. And I got goosebumps and started tearing up. And I decided to Google his name, and there's actually a Chance Phelps Foundation. And there was a phone number. And I called it, and Chance's mother answered. And I said, my name is Mac McEwen. You don't know me, but this is what I'm doing, and this is why I'm doing it. And I'm holding your son's coin in my hand.
Wow.
And she's crying, and I'm crying. And she lives in Missouri. And once I get there, we'll meet. But to show you how small of a world it really is, the real Lieutenant Colonel Strobel, who escorted Chance home, is from Stafford, Virginia, where I started my walk.
Wow. So I mean, so many things here that just come
So
together.
many things.
And we really appreciate you sharing that story with us this morning. And I know that that touched a lot of people's hearts. And we just thank you for all that you're doing. And we wish you the greatest of luck and blessings on your continued journey. In the next 6 years, you got a couple more years to go. But if you guys would like to follow Mac McEwen, you can go to www.operationwalkamerica.us. OperationWalkAmerica.us. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you for the
time. It was
time.
great talking with you.
Thank you.
And over to you, Chris.